I'm just gonna give you an introduction to some of the new features I've introduced to BlackPath. It's a small VJing application that's inherently works with 3D models and textures I've been working on. The frame rate is suffering a bit when I'm screen recording with QuickTime in the meantime, but bear with me. So here I have kind of like a project set up, and some of the new features is that you can save different scenes and can fade between them. And you have kind of like a scene selector up here. Each scene has a name. You can go and change this name. Something more descriptive. Whatever. Here in the upper right side, we can add new scenes. If I hit the plus, that's a blank scene. I can also select an existing scene. Say I have this kind of thing going on here, and I want to create a new version of this, but I basically want the same settings. Then I can create a new scene by cloning it. Hit the C. So now the scene and this scene is exactly the same, but I can now start making changes to one of them. A scene is basically a collection of preferences for a renderer, and when we're fading between the scenes, it's actually cross-fading on every single parameter. So you'll see that it's cross-fading from one model to another model, and camera positions, effect position, and so on and so on. The difference between the preview and the live is it's almost the same. There's the ability to turn the preview off, and the preview does not do anti-aliasing, so it's like saving a little bit of effort there. But I'm actually throwing both of them out on Siphon also because it's so cheap. So like theoretically you could use your preview as your live output instead, or use both of them and actually have two live outputs, two different worlds at the same time, and then you don't have a preview anymore. The basic idea of sort of how to use it is that you can be preparing one scene while another scene is live, and when it's ready you hit Q live and it crossfades the live output to those same preferences. As you see, the crossfade is not a 2D crossfade, it's actually every single parameter is interpolating towards the other renderer. Then we have projects as well. I've had some trouble kind of merging the open framework stuff with Cocoa things, so like optimally I would add a menu up here like file, load, save, as any other program has. But for now, because I haven't really gotten the Cocoa stuff to work well with open framework yet, it's this kind of quirky way of doing it, where you're actually typing in either a relative path from where this app is located, or just like an absolute path to where you want the project. So if I want to save this project, new location, call it default 2, then I actually just hit enter, and you can see up here the title bar that the location refreshes. Now this is actually saved as a new project. If I want to go back and load the old projects, there's no like load projects button. But what you do is you locate this project file with your Finder, and then you simply drag and drop it onto the window. So say I disable the preview to see if I can get a little bit better performance here. And then Let's do a smaller output just to, it's very hard to keep the performance up while doing the screen recording. This might help. So I could do something like same project here, and I have some other projects laying around. Let's navigate to the XML file. All of the project files are simply XML files, and within them, all the paths to assets are stored as absolute paths. So you can't just like take a project file at the moment from one computer to the other. If you do, however, want to do that, then you can like open your project file in text editor, and actually go and change the path manually. So I can like open this up in Sublime, for instance. Just close some things down to see if I can get a bit more performance here. Come on. There we go. So here we have the project file in XML. It's basically a list of texture tags with path to images, and then there's a list of model tags with path to .object files, and then there's the scenes, scene name, and what textures they have loaded, and then there's like all of the parameters for that scene. So this is basically this is the core part of what makes up to the scene. Selected textures and the selected models, how they're applied to each other, and all of the parameters and what their current state is. So say I want to load in new projects. I found one of my projects here. Let's just go back to the default one here, and I simply drag it on top of my window. There we go. And this loaded the scenes from this project. The same applies when you want to load new textures and models. You simply find those assets in your Finder, and they showed up in the texture selector here and the model selector here. The model selector works where the first toggle button here is the primary model, and the second is the secondary model. You hit it once and you activate that. If you hit it again, you deactivate it. And the last button is unloading, simply deleting the model from the project. If a model is selected, then you can't delete it. You simply won't do anything. The same applies to the textures. There's the primary texture, secondary textures. Secondary texture is if you load in an object that has more than one embedded mesh, then the secondary texture applies to everything above the first mesh. And then there's the effect model texture, which is the model, this model here that's fixed in the viewport. And the last one is the skybox. And the last button here simply deletes this texture from the project. These white ones that show up, I have yet to make a preview for them, are the siphon inputs. So any siphon input, if you open up another application, a VJ application, or something else that outputs the siphon, and even these two we have here is simply the feedback from our two preview and live renderers. So you can feed back into itself. You can delete scenes as well, and put in the minus button. And if you don't want to if you want to save the project, you can either type in the path down here and hit enter, or you can just hit the SB button up here that save the project. Yeah. So I hope that kind of breaks it down. Makes sense. I'm sorry for the bad performance. Should work better for you when you're not trying to do a screencast at the same time.